Yes, my name is Sylvia Lipscomb. I co-pastor with my husband, Mark Lipscomb, at Rock Church Ministries. The recent play that I've narrated, and the only play that I've ever narrated, was the I Am Not Afraid stage play by Ayana Salabal. And that was a very eye-opening experience to me. Because of the bullying that we've seen in the media and in the newspapers and how serious it's gotten, you don't really realize the seriousness of it until you're placed in the middle of it. Growing up, I'm sure all of us were teased, and growing up in my day, you got teased, laughed about it, let it go, you went on your way. Today, it's become violent in word and deed, and we've seen children take their lives to try to escape that torment. In this play, it was very moving because I had not seen it. I read it, but when you see it, it's a big difference. And started out crying, ended up laughing, went to crying, laughing, and had to pull myself together to go to the next scene. But the cast and the message was very moving to me. It hit home in two ways. The first way was growing up, I was a gang member, and that was part of our identity. We had to prove ourselves strong and able to take a beating, and whether it was word or deed, and that's what we did. We went around and we proved our strength to protect a piece of land that didn't really belong to us, but the government. And I had my share of being a bully and being bullied when I came out of the gangs. I was told, when we see you on the street, we're going to get you, because you went out of the gang. And I'd given my heart to the Lord, and I have, to this day, have not ran into an ex-member, so God protected me in that. And then just recently, I had a church member come to me in tears saying that her grandson was in trouble for bullying. And asked him why he did it. And he said, because it makes me feel in control. That's when it hit home. And I knew that this was a God-ordained play for this time and this season. If not for anybody, for that little boy. And he came and sat next to me in the front row when I was narrating. And his eyes were glued to every member in that, and I could see the Lord working in him. So this was a real eye-opener to me that has kept me in prayer for the kids in this community. I think that unless you see it and you make yourself a part of what is a truth, you're not going to do anything. We hear about it, we read about it, we say, oh, that's so sad, oh, that poor mama, that poor daddy, But when you get involved in something like this, you give of yourself. A lot of people don't want to get involved because it takes a lot of sacrificial time and emotion. And today people are already stressed and they're at their end, sacrificing for their families to make ends meet, going through their own issues in their family. But this is something that affects every parent that has a child in the school system, that has a group of friends out on the playground. to me it's important because I've seen in my lifetime, being in the gangs from 11 years old till I was a sophomore in high school, I've seen how little bullies can become big bullies. And I've seen friends of mine bully their family members, mothers, fathers, grandparents, girlfriends, boyfriends. It doesn't stop. And if it happened back in the 70s, the 80s, I'm dating myself, it's worse now. And you know what? Because we're so busy, we don't want to get involved. It's behind closed doors, and we're telling our wives, our husbands, our children, shh, don't say anything. And you know what? Had this play not come to our church, this wouldn't have come out of this child that is in my church, and has caused me to pray even more for all the kids that walk into this house. But I think it's important, that we get involved. I think it's very important because they're already looked up to as a leader. I think it's important that when they hear that spoken by somebody that they trust, that they believe has their best interest at heart, that it gets the message across. I think it's wonderful that the kids are playing in this play and that they're having a voice in this. Because even though I'm an adult, kids are used to hearing adults tell them stuff all the time. And I think personally it would be really cool if it could be shared with a younger person, because they'll hear that young person and they'll say, wow, okay, I can understand where you're coming from. You're my age. You know what I'm going through. This old lady don't know what I'm going through, But I think that if they were paired together, I think that would be even more powerful. But yeah, I think the community needs to get involved, from church leaders, whether it's children's church, youth pastors, principals in the schools, the librarians. They're the quiet ones. Let her speak, let him speak. The kids, our community leaders, our fire chiefs, our police chiefs, police officers. I think it's important that they know, look, we're behind you. Those of you that are bullying or being bullied, we're behind you. And we recognize the problem. I would highly recommend this play. I was so concerned when it was brought to our attention because we have such a small platform. And I know that this play was originally done on a school stage with the nice curtains and the lights and everything, and stage left and right. We just had a stage left and half of a platform. And I was so impressed by the excellence of the cast and the director in making it work. When you have a message and that becomes your life's message, you can have a soapbox. And if it's your heart's message, it's going to preach. The message is going to go out. And I was so impressed that everybody, and there's a testament to it, because I needed the lights turned on so I could read my script. And my pastor and my deacon were so into this play, looking to see what the next scene was bringing, that they forgot to turn the lights on for me to read my next narration. That blessed me. That let me know even the big people are listening to this. And I could see every time one scene was over, I could see all the eyes going to the next, scene, going to where the cast walked off and waiting, okay, what's next? And I love the part where Lipscomb was abandoned. I think somewhere in our lives, somewhere, somehow, we've all experienced that rejection to some point. And I don't think there was a dry eye. It got really quiet in here. And but it'll work everywhere, and it needs to. I see this play going into the parks. I see it going into neighborhoods, and kids have the biggest imaginations. And if the parents and the adults would tap into what these kids are seeing, they'll envision the forest. They'll envision, the bedroom, the classroom, and the bus. So yeah, I think this is important. I think it's very important to get out.